Many years ago, before lottery, there used to be a caravan that traveled from city to city, town to town. They pulled in Sunday, and people would buy tickets from Sunday through Friday. And right before Shabbos, they would pull the winning number. And so they came to this one town, and everybody bought a ticket. It was $1 and a dream. And one person in the town, his name was Shlomazel, said, I'm not buying a ticket. I'm a Shlomazel. I have no mazel, no luck. They said, even a Shlomazel has luck from time to time. We all know what a Shlomazel is. Someone who has 2 left hands, 2 left feet, can't do anything right. Anyway, the people of the town said, look, Shlomazel, we're going to buy you the ticket. And they put together a few dimes and nickels, and they gave him the money to buy the ticket. Now, it wasn't so sophisticated like today. Everything is computerized, and the computer basically chooses your numbers. In those days, you had to choose a number. So he chooses a number, and they put it into the hat. Friday afternoon, right before Shabbos, the rabbi draws the winning number, and who do you think wins? Shlomazel. Shlomazel wins the lottery. They say, Shlomazel, how'd you do it? How'd you win the lottery? He says, it's very simple. You see, to win a lottery, you have to have 2 things. You have to have, number 1, seichel, you have to have brains. And number 2, you need to have mazal, you have to have luck. Aha, and you have them both, I got them both. Okay, what's the seichel, what's the brains? You see, my mother always told me the number 7 is a very special number. The 7th day of the week is Shabbos, and the 7th year is Shemitah, and every 7 years is a Jubilee year, and then you have a Hakel year. So the number 7 is very special. And as it says in the Talmud, that the 7th is beloved. So I said to myself like this, I used my seichel, you see? I said, if 7 is good, then 7 times 7 is even better. And I chose number 48. They said, Shlomazel, 7 times 7 is 49. He says, yeah, that's where the mazel comes in. I was never good at mathematics. Okay. So today we're going to talk about mazel. What is the meaning of mazel? On one hand, we hear the terminology mazel tov. When someone gets engaged, when a baby is born, on a birthday, you say mazel tov. You should have a good mazel. Furthermore, when someone gets engaged, you say b'shat tova. It should be a good hour. B'shat tova mitzlachas. You hear someone is pregnant. Again, the baby should be born in an auspicious hour. So on one hand, we believe in mazel. On the other hand, the Talmud says, Ein mazel Yisrael. There's no mazel to the Jewish people. We don't believe in mazel. So do we believe it or don't we believe it? Let's look into the following medrash pertaining to the holiday of Purim. It says as follows. When Haman HaRasha, when the evil Haman wanted to, God forbid, annihilate the Jewish people, what did he do? He made a lottery. But he began to go through each month and said, what month of the year is it? What would be a good month to carry out my evil plan? He started with the first month of the Jewish calendar, the month of Nisan. He says, look, what happened in Nisan? Well, Pesach happened, Passover. It's not a good month to start up with the Jewish people. Well, let's look at the zodiac of the month. The zodiac of Nisan is Aries, is the lamb. It's also no good because the Jews brought the lamb for the Korban Pesach, for the Paschal lamb. Let's try the second month of the year. Second month of the year is Iyar, not a good month. That's the month that you have Pesach Sheni, the second Passover. It's also a holiday, not a good month. Let's look at the zodiac of the month. Oh, it's Taurus. Not a good sign because Joseph, the viceroy of Egypt, he was blessed to be the shore, to be the Taurus. We can't do it in the month of Iyar. Well, let's look at the third month of the year, Sivan. Sivan, God gave the Torah that month to the Jewish people. Not a good month. And what's the zodiac? Gemini. Oh, Gemini is also no good because Gemini represents the two sons of Tamar and Judah, who was Peretz and Zorach. Peretz is the grandfather of the Messiah. Not a good month. And he goes through every single month till finally he comes to the 12th month of the year, the month of Adar. And Haman says, well, let's look into this month of Adar. Oh, Adar, perfect. No holidays yet. No holidays in Adar. Okay, great month to carry out my evil plan. Let's look at the Zodiac, the mazal, the luck of the month. Oh, the mazal of Adar is Pisces. Ooh, that's also good because a fish swallows up other fish. That's the month I will swallow up the Jewish people. So he says like this, Adar ein loy zuchos, it has no merit, and the mazal also ein loy zuchos, it has no merit. God says, don't worry, just like fish swallow up other fish, fish are also swallowed up by larger fish. And you, Haman, are going to be swallowed up in this month of Adar. So, this is the Medrash. Comes the question to mind. On one hand, there was no mazal, according to Haman. On the other hand, in this month of Adar, he says there is no merit because Moses passed away in the month of Adar. Says the Gemara, however, he did not realize that on the 7th day of Adar, Moses died, but also on the 7th day of Adar, Moses was born. And because he was born, therefore the entire month is blessed. The entire month is transformed. As we say, when the month of Adar arrives, Mishenichnas Adar, Marbim B'Simcha, we increase in joy. This is what the Gemara says. Now, the question comes to mind, generally, one cancels out one. So if you have one bad thing and one good thing, so they cancel out each other. So you can argue Moshe Rabbeinu died, it's a bad thing. Moses was born is a good thing. They cancel out each other. So it makes the month pariv, neutral. It doesn't make the month a great month. Why does the Gemara say that the month of Adar, Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha, when Adar arrives, we increase in joy, and it's a month that has tremendous mazal, tremendous luck. The month is strong. The month is healthy. What is the reason behind it? Now, in general, what is the concept of mazal? What is the concept of good mazal? We find pertaining to the war of Amalek against the Jewish people. It says when Amalek came and they fought against the Jewish people, Moses lifted up his hands. When his hands were up, it says, the Govar Yisrael, the Jews were powerful. They overwhelmed their enemy. When his hands were down, then Amalek overwhelmed the Jewish people. What happened over here? The Talmud in Jerusalem, the Yerushalmi, the Jerusalem Talmud tells the secret here, what took place. The Amalekites, which by the way was a small nation compared to a giant nation of the Jewish people. Amalek was much smaller. Amalek chose soldiers to fight against the Jews, soldiers that day was their birthday. Because on the day of one's birthday, your mazal is strong. Mazole goiver, your mazal is powerful. And they said no one is going to fall on the day of their birthday. So they chose soldiers to fight, elite soldiers to fight on their birthday against the Jewish people. What does Moses do? He lifts up his hands and he confuses the stars. He begins to play around with the zodiac, with the mazal. And he says, your luck is not lucky today. I am removing that extra star. I'm removing that extra power. And now you have no mazal. And when his hands were up, V'gavar Yisrael, the Jews overpowered the nations of the world. They overpowered Amalek. If this is true for Amalek, it's surely true for Am Yisrael, for the Jewish people. On the day of one's birthday, your mazal is very strong. And this is true for every person's birthday. In addition to that, the entire month of Adar is a strong mazal. Why? But why? What makes Adar so unique that this month is called a month of powerful mazal? And the answer is that Moshe Rabbeinu was born this month. Moses was born in the month of Adar. Now, but it was only one day. He also died this month. What makes it different? And the answer is, Moshe Rabbeinu was a Nasi b'Yisrael. He was the leader of the Jewish people. What is the definition of a leader? The definition of a leader is he is equivalent to the entire Jewish people. For a Nasi who are koil, the Nasi is everything. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu was not only one person being born. The fact that Moses is born on the seventh day of Adar, in reality, every single Jew is born on the seventh day of Adar. So you have over here a few million Jews being born on this month. And this is not only true that one time, this is true every year. Because every year Moses has his birthday on the 7th of Adar. And therefore all the Jewish people of that generation are again reborn on this day, on the 7th day of Adar. Can you imagine? Millions of Jews throughout the generations are born in this month. How powerful the mazal of Adar is. It is so powerful that this month has a double month. We have a leap year of Adar. Now, even though we need a leap year at least 7 times in 19 years, because our solar system is 11 days shorter than our lunar system is 11 days shorter than the solar system. So therefore, we lose a month every 3 years on average. Still in all, it could have been another month that is added. Why the month of Adar? But the month of Adar is so powerful, the mazal is so great, that it has the ability to pour over into the next month. It has so much luck and so much mazal that it's enough for 2 months. So Adar becomes a double month. The first Adar and the second Adar. And both of these months are powerful. Both of these months are full of mazal and luck. So on one hand we say, the mazal is very powerful. But what is the mazal of this month? Where does it come from? Haman said there is no mazal in this month. Even Pisces is not a good mazal. So where is the mazal? And the answer is, the word mazal means to flow. Mazal means nozel, comes from the word nozel, which means to flow. Mazal means it flows from the essence of your soul. The essence of your soul is beyond any zodiac. The essence of your soul is beyond any name. And the essence of your soul is beyond any configuration. So therefore, on one hand we say mazal tov, that we do accept the mazalot, the zodiacs of the month, the good luck of the month. But yet we say, in truth, ein mazal Yisrael. There is no mazal to the Jewish people. Number one, if it's a negative mazal, it doesn't affect us in a negative way, because we are beyond the mazal. Furthermore, our mazal comes from the level of ein, which is ayin, absolute nothingness. The level of chachma ma'ayin to motzei. Wisdom, from where does it come? Ma'ayin means from where. It's a place that is beyond time and space. This is really where our mazal comes from. It's an unlimited mazal. And so, throughout the entire month, this mazal, which is beyond Pisces, and is beyond any name or configuration, this is the mazal that each one of us taps into because Moses was born, which means we, in reality, are born this month. And this is hinted by the concept of birth. Because when a person is born, a child is born, a boy or a girl is born, they don't get a name till a few days later. So before their name, what are they? The essence of that child is there. The essence of the soul, which is beyond a name, is born at that moment, becomes present, is now in existence. And so Moshe Rabbeinu, who was born in this month, the essence of Moshe is found now in this month. And this is also hinted in the idea of Purim. What was Purim, the holiday of Purim? Haman said, bow down to me. If not, you're going to die. And he wanted to annihilate the entire Jewish people. Right. And we said no. We stood with Mesirat Nefesh. We stood with self-sacrifice. Yeah. Because in truth, any Jew that was willing to bow down to the idol would have been saved. They could have spared their life. There was a way out. And yet we don't find that any Jew said, look, I'll bow down and save my life. They said we would rather die as a Jew than live as a non-Jew. That's what they said. And that is the miracle of Purim. Every Jew expressed the essence of their soul. They expressed their level of self-sacrifice for Almighty God. This is the meaning of mazal. This is the meaning of our soul that is one with Almighty God. And that is the meaning of the month of Adar. Adar means Aleph Dor. Aleph is Alufay Shaloilam, the master of the universe, dwells in this month. It's not Zodiac, it's not different configurations of the cosmos. It's beyond all that. It's Aleph. God himself is apparent in this month. And that is why we say the month of Adar, the mazal is strong. And the word Adar comes from Adir B'Morim Hashem, which means powerful. Adir can also be spelled Yud Aleph Dor. In this month we have 11. 11, the number 11 also represents the level of godliness beyond time and space. 10 is holy. 11 is an infinite. So in this month we have infinite mazal, infinite blessing. And similarly we find that the Talmud says in this month, the month of Adar, the mazal is bari. Bari, which means strong and healthy. The word bari also is bar yud aleph, the son of 11, or it means to reveal. Bar means to reveal the number 11, which is the number of infinity. So what do we see? On one hand, we say, Ein mazal Yisrael. A Jew is beyond mazal. On the other hand, we say the mazal is from ayin, from the absolute nothingness. And in this month, each one of us can tap into this mazal. And how do we do this? By increasing in acts of goodness and kindness, by studying more Torah, by giving more charity, going out of our comfort zone, reaching into this level of infinity, tapping into the essence of our soul. That is the way we are able to access this infinite mazal that is so real and so accessible to every single one of us in this month. So this is the concept of mazal. And this is the meaning of the month of Adar. And that is why we say mazel tov. When we say mazel tov, we are saying God should allow you to receive that flow from the source of your soul, which is beyond all time and space. And similarly, it should be in an auspicious hour. That hour that the child is born, that hour that you get married, you should be able to tap in to the mazel of that hour for the rest of eternity, for the rest of your life. To end with a short story, Rabbi David Morris tells his birthday story. And that is that he was born Erev Yom Kippur, right before Yom Kippur. And it was customary every year before Yom Kippur that the Lubavitcher Rebbe would give out honey cake to all those people, men and women. It was men actually before Yom Kippur, women he gave out Hoshana Rabbah, to give them the blessing for a sweet year. Now, for Rabbi David Morris, it was especially exciting because that day was also his birthday. So he felt it wasn't only a blessing for Yom Kippur, but also it was a happy birthday gift, a happy birthday blessing. In the early 1980s, because Baruch Hashem, the crowds grew tremendously, Instead of the Rebbe giving the honey cake only right before Yom Kippur, the Rebbe began to give the honey cake 4 days before. So if you lived in Crown Heights, you would receive it 4 days before. And the guests that came in for Yom Kippur would receive it as they came in up until Yom Kippur. So this fellow living in Crown Heights, Rabbi David Morris, he had to go now 4 days before. He was instructed, you have to go 4 days before, and you cannot go later. That's for the guests who are coming in for Yom Kippur. So he went 4 days before, and he got a honey cake. On the day before Yom Kippur, he's hanging around 770, looking as the Rebbe gives out the honey cake, and he's contemplating and standing and looking. It's his birthday that day. A friend walks over to him and says, what are you doing here? He says, today's my birthday, and I want to feel the connection. He says, you should go and get another piece of honey cake. He says, no, I can't do that. Chas v'shalom. They forbade us to do this. They said, you're not allowed to go. And they warned us, don't make the Rebbe give you a second piece of honey cake. But, he said to me, you have to go. Today's your birthday. You're not going for the honey cake. You got the honey cake 4 days ago. But today you're going for your birthday. And the Rebbe was very big into birthdays. To celebrate your birthday, go and get a piece of honey cake. He said, I was contemplating back and forth. Finally, I said, fine, I'm going to go. He went online. As he comes by the Rebbe, the Rebbe gives out a piece of honey cake like this, honey cake. Split seconds. And the Rebbe looks at me, he goes like this, like, what are you doing here? I knew thousands of people, how did the Rebbe know I was here 4 days ago? You remember it? I was here 4 days ago? Thousands of people are literally going by the Rebbe. So I said, I felt all guilty. So, but you got to tell the truth. I said, Rebbe, today is my Yom Haledis. Today is my birthday. The Rebbe turned around to get the honey cake from the box, and he picked out the biggest piece of cake in the box, and he put it in his hand, and he said to him, Shnas Hatzlocha, a year of success. This is really what a birthday is. God on our birthday gives us a piece of honey cake, and he says that you are important, and you matter, and I need you to make a dent in the universe and change the world. And he gives us new strength and new vigor and new mazal and new inspiration. But this month, the month of Adar, each one of us celebrates our birthday. Each one of us can tap into this mazal. To wish everybody happy birthday, to have a year of success, a year of blessing, long years and healthy years, and to truly transform the world, to transform ourselves, and to become ready, to ready ourselves and to ready the world, the Kabel Panei Mashiach Tzidkenu.